Well, hello, Carol.
Hi.
I got you in because I noticed that you do business coaching, career coaching, all these different elements of coaching. And I thought what we could do is cover both sides of what you do.
Yes.
And let's begin by going over what it is that you do for women in business.
For women in business, I help them through the various processes and the various phases of their business. I help them become focused and actually align what they are doing physically with what it is that they're trying to achieve.
Okay.
So they actually retain their focus and ensure that they actually integrate the various aspects of their lives.
Okay.
We very often talk about finding balance. Now, when I think about finding balance, I think about one of these little old-fashioned scales, and it's like a seesaw motion.
Yeah.
We can't live our lives and live with a seesaw motion because something's got to give somewhere. There's always going to be something out of kilter. I prefer talking about living an integrated life because as women we have a variety of facets. We don't go to work, switch off and carry on. We don't function that way. So I try and help my clients to integrate their lives as well. So whether you're a mom, a wife, a sister, a daughter, everything that you do and a businesswoman needs to work together holistically.
Okay.
Otherwise something's going to come
And how do you pick up that holistic approach? I mean, let's say I come to you, and because we were talking about it earlier, and you were saying you kind of help people get focused when, especially when they've got these great ideas and they come to you, and there's like, especially me, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that have loads of ideas. I mean, you can ask Roxanne.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go, Roxanne, you see? You know?
I feel sorry for you.
We do quite well. So I come to you and I've got all these ideas, and I kind of juggle everything because I'm just such an ideas person. Now, how do you take those ideas of mine and put them into like a formal structure?
What I do is say, okay, Romany, what is it that you're wanting to do? And you're going to come down with this whole long list. And I'll make the notes. And I'll say to you, okay, now, Romany, what is it that you're actually wanting to do? What are you trying to achieve? And you're going to say to me something like, I want to make documentaries for TV. Then I'm going to say to you, okay, now how does item 5, 6, 7, and all the way down to 15 align with that? Well, it doesn't, but it sounds like fun. Well, then you just scrap them off the list.
Mine never sounds... I suppose they do sound like fun, but they all seem like they're all part and parcel of what it is I'm trying to do. For example, I mean, everything that I'm trying to do in my business is all geared towards the ultimate goal of what it is I'm trying to achieve. So, yeah, they may...
It's about priorities.
Okay.
You need to say, okay, I'm wanting to create the documentaries. What is it that you actually need to do to achieve that?
It's almost like what I have to do right now.
Yes, right now what do you need to do? Well, you need to get the equipment, you need to train up some staff. Right, that's what you need to do. Okay, the next thing, right, I need to find a topic, and this is where I'm going to go, and this is how I'm going to do it, right, the next step.
Okay, and how do you hold me accountable for that? Or how do you, because it's almost like having, I don't know, I mean, how do you hold me accountable?
Well, we agree to tasks that you need to complete before our next session. And then it's a matter of when I see you again, it's, okay, so Romany, how's your last 2 weeks been, or the 3 weeks? And you'll say, well, it's been great, or it hasn't been so great, and we unpack that.
Okay.
If for some reason you decide that, darn, I can't make this meeting, I'm going to say, but why? And you say, well, I haven't done my work, and it's going to be why? Well, I haven't had time, why? And if I really have to, I'll climb over your gate and come and find you in your house.
Well, because I mean, that's what I was going to ask you next. I was going to say, because I've worked with coaches before, and, they send me their weekly tasks, and I go, or they send me whatever I had to do, and I go, oh gosh, I really don't feel like doing this right now. And sometimes I don't always see the benefit of what it is they're trying to do sometimes. So
the idea is that you need to have buy-in to what you need to do.
Okay.
And what I try to do is I try and explain to you what it is and why you're doing it that way, or why I'm asking you to do something.
Okay.
So that you actually have an idea of what the outcome's going to be.
Right.
You just need the information in between. So you know where you are, you know where you need to be, and it's that missing link in between that we need to find. And sometimes you do have a list of things that you need to get done, however you have priorities. And life then happens, and you need to change your whole entire structure of what you're doing, and that's actually also okay. Coaching is a process where you get to learn about yourself, what it is that you can and can't achieve in a certain period of time, and you actually also learn that it's okay to say, well, you know what, I actually can't do that right now or ever. And
that's interesting
okay.
You say that, because a lot of the times I think, I'm sure I'm not alone here, but a lot of the times I think women feel guilty if they don't get to do the things that they either committed to do or they just
A lot of us use I should have, I must, and then also we, for some obscure reason, haven't learned how to say no.
Yeah.
2 letters, we don't know how to use it. It's about setting boundaries. So if you are a working mom, sometimes it's about setting those boundaries again and looking at what makes your life better as well. And then we get to, oh, but you're being selfish. You're actually not. If I can use the working mom example again, if you are a happy mother and you're achieving, not only is your family going to be happier, you're also teaching your kids what life really is about. It's not about living your life according to what somebody else wants you to do. And that is what's so important. That's what has happened to many people, is that we go out into the world, we go and study accounting because daddy said so, and you hate working with numbers.
Yeah.
You're going to be miserable.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I guess if your business is under so much pressure and you've got loads of things to do, then you're exactly not going to be happy, and you're going to take it out on your family, or you're going to take
Absolutely.
it out, or you're going to sit with regrets.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely I understand that. Now, in terms of okay, so we're going to set tasks every week. You're going to get me to do those tasks. It's almost like having a PA, but not having a PA.
Yeah. Thing is, I'm not. I don't have any vested interest in your business. I'm not emotionally attached to anything that you need to do. So for me, it's very easy to step back and say, okay, well, that actually isn't working no matter what you're going to try. And I also get to play devil's advocate for you as well. And because I can take that step back, I can say to you, well, Romany, you're actually maybe missing the focus, or you're going off on a tangent, or maybe we just need to restructure. You're trying to do 6 months work in 2 months. It's not going to work. Rather slow it down, take a bit longer,
Okay.
and look at what the other alternatives are.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because I didn't quite, I see coaches, and like I said, I've heard of coaches. Well, I've used coaches before, and sometimes I just feel because I don't know. I think I need somebody to come with a whip.
Look, for me personally, I mean, I can't speak for other coaches,
Yeah.
but for me, I need to see my client moving forward. If you're not moving forward, then this relationship isn't working.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't sell packages of you have to come to 12 sessions. I don't work that way. It's 4 sessions. If within 4 sessions we haven't moved, then there definitely is something not working. And it might be a case of, honestly, you're not ready to do what you need to do now, or you're on the wrong track, or maybe this combination isn't working. Because you need to have a rapport with your coach as well.
Yes.
You can't go and delve into your life with someone that you actually don't like, because you're not going to have the freedom to speak to that person. So you need to have a rapport with your coach as well. It's very, very important.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. And I was going to ask you, because when we were chatting before we started, you were talking about your value system and how they fit into your life. And tell us a little bit about value system. How do we find our value system?
Look, we all have a value system. We know it instinctively. It's not something that we talk to know about consciously in most environments. So, for instance, the two of you will be working together. You have your value structure, and she has her value structure. And at the end of the day, for you to work together, you might actually need to develop a value structure for your business. Now, there's a process I have that you can actually go through, literally, where you actually go down a list of words that are various different values, and you end up with a scenario where you have 5 top values in whatever aspect you're dealing with at the time, because we do have different values for different aspects of our lives, because different things are important. And then what I keep telling my clients is that when you're making a business decision, is it actually aligned to your value structure? Because if it's not going to work, because you're working contrary to who you are as a person.
That makes sense, actually, because you can't project really what you're not.
Absolutely. It's for instance, if you are a lawyer and integrity is important to you, and your client's wanting you to do something that lacks integrity, if integrity is one of your top 5 values, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, you'll be struggling.
Especially
if it's a client who goes against your value system.
Absolutely.
Almost like,
Absolutely. A lot of people are working in working environments where their working values and the values of the business that they're working for don't align. People start getting physically ill.
I've seen it. I think I've experienced that, actually. Interesting
Probably.
you say that. Because there was one industry I was working in, and it was cool in years ago, and then as time went by and systems changed and structures changed, it was horrible. I could, the environment was awful. Everything about it was awful, and it just didn't sit well with my.
You actually get that funny feeling here.
Yeah,
in the middle.
And I just, and I was getting drained, I was getting ill, I was unhappy, I was miserable, and I just had to get out. I literally had to get out. And then sometimes I've also found that some people can't get out of that system, or they think they can't get out of that system. Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing with coaching, because we develop an emotional block to making very big decisions, because it is difficult, especially when you've been somewhere for a long time.
And you've got bills to pay.
Exactly, you have got bills to pay. So if you've got this phenomenal idea and you want to go start a business, and that's great. But that doesn't mean you can go hand in your resignation and say, well, no, my thought since, here I go. And then what you got to do?
Which I do.
Well, yeah, some of us have done that.
Yeah, I tend to go, I jump out and jump into the fire.
It's about planning, it's about getting structure. So yes, you do want to start your business. However, you've got bills to pay, you've got kids to raise, you've got whatever it is that you need to do. What's the plan to get there? Can you do it after hours? Yes, I can. How are you going to do that? And once you've built the client base and it's sufficient to sustain you, then you make the move. Because the reality is, yes, you've got a great idea. There's a lot that goes into building a business. It does take 1,000 days. You can't just leave a job and it's going to work, no matter how passionate is it about what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I can quite relate to that, some of that actually, because I do have a tendency to jump from, what do they say, call it, jump from the pan into the...
Yeah, from the pan into the fire.
Into the fire. I have a tendency, and I think, and coming back to, when I speak to people, and there's a lot of people who want to start their businesses, but they either start, say, I mean, the one lady that I know, she's been dying to start her own business, and I keep saying, go for it, you'll have loads of clients, because she's really good at what she does, and yet she holds herself back because she thinks that she must have X amount of money to start that business. And so now for the last 4 years, she hasn't started a business, still working in the environment, which is she's starting to hate, and still no business, and still haven't saved the money, because, as you say, life happens, circumstances happen. And so do you ever get to the point, and is it really wise for you to say, well, okay, I'm going to save 100,000 Rand to make sure I'm going to start my business off at the ground, because you could be going around in a circle for years and years and years.
It depends on the kind of business. For instance, if you make cakes and cupcakes after hours, you have a business, you've got your clientele, people know about you already.
Yeah.
You've got your equipment, everything's there. You're going to be working from home anyway.
Yes.
Yes, you do need to have savings. It is wise, because at the end of the day, you need to have that financial security. If you have the financial security, you have the peace of mind, which means that you can function better.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you don't have that financial security, you become desperate. Clients can smell that a mile away.
Okay.
Your tone of your voice changes, your body language changes. So it is wise to have some savings. It is wise to think about what it is. Do I really need to start a business? You don't have to have Zooj offices.
Yes, absolutely.
9 times out of 10, you need a simple laptop. You need your cell phone. You don't need to have your telecom line, which will take you like 6 months to get anyway. You probably don't need your ADSL line. You've got a 3G card. So bring it down to basics. What do you realistically need? Then look at what is it, how are you going to market your business? How are you going to brand your business? Do yourself a favor and get somebody who can really help you with it. Spend the money on your branding. Spend the money on your marketing. Or at least get an idea of what it is that you need to do for your marketing. Because 9 times out of 10, you have a phenomenal idea. You have some idea of how to run your business, and then you fall flat on the marketing. Your brand is a clip art design. It's not going to work.
No.
You don't have a proper website or a decent website. You need some advice from people on what do I do in social media? Who's your niche client? It's important to do that work before you step out and say, right, hello world, I'm a business.
And you know what, you're absolutely spot on with that, because I think a lot of people, because because they're trying to save on that budget, they forget that, marketing is actually your number one priority, because if you don't market your business, you actually have no business. You've got to tell people that you exist.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like, we don't have the budget for a website, and we don't have a budget for a logo, so we'll just try and slap anything together. And what I see sometimes is pretty scary.
It is. I speak from personal experience. My first business card, I was going out there and I'm creative. I can do anything. Fortunately, I've got a bookkeeping background as well, so I know I can do pretty much anything. And if I look at where I started, that really quaint little business card I had, and what I have now, because I've spoken to somebody, sorted out my marketing, sorted out my branding, it's like chalk and cheese. It shows a difference in the clientele as well.
Okay.
It is so important.
That's true.
And you don't have to go to the top market, huge marketing gurus that the big companies use. You don't need to do that. You need to find someone you have a rapport with who will listen to you in what you're trying to achieve with your business and can help you.
Okay. Well, it's been very interesting. That's all we've got time for today, Carol.
Thank
Thank you for joining us. And now, if somebody wants to find you or find out a little bit more about what you do, how can they find you?
I'm on the web, www.gerberacoaching.co.za. You can pop me an email at carol@gerberacoaching.co.za. I'm on Facebook, and I also have a Twitter handle at Gerbera Coaching.